This violin was made by Antonio Stradivari, the greatest violin maker of all time, in 1684. It's known as the ex-Croall McEwen Strad, and it is named after two of the lucky people who owned it in the late 19th and early 20th centuries. The violin was in Scottish ownership for probably the first 50 years of its known history. So in about 1885, 1886, we come across it for the first time when it's being sold by Scottish noble lady, Countess Seafield. And at that time it's sold to William Croall, who was an amateur violinist and a man who was very, very involved in the Scottish musical scene at the time. So we catch up with the violin again in 1968 when it appears for sale at Sotheby's in London. And it was sold for the sum of £9,500. The buyer at the sale was Henry Werrow, and the violin remained with his family until 1985. And at that point it became the concert instrument of Frank Peter Zimmermann. Zimmermann played the violin for only 5 years, but he obviously got along with it extremely well. He played over 250 concerts in that time, and he made about a dozen recordings. So we have a lovely record of the way the instrument sounded at the time in his hands. So the changes which Stradivari made in the mid-1680s are crucial for this violin because his work up until then was rather narrower and with slightly higher arching. So the sound would have been very sweet, but maybe not so powerful. But this change in the middle of the 1680s, where he flattens the arching and he broadens the body of the instrument, means that we tend to get a much more powerful sound, a sound which will carry to the back of a concert hall. And that means for a player today, this is the sort of instrument which would be considered suitable for concert use.